esas acusaciones falsas, que son la base de toda una confabulación en contra nuestra, yo les digo que son falsas y Dios sabe que así es.
Comienza hoy en Nueva York, en una corte, el juicio contra el expresidente de Honduras, Juan Orlando Hernández, acusado de delitos de conspiración para importar cocaína a Estados Unidos, conspiración para poseer armas de fuego y dispositivos destructivos, además de la posesión de ese tipo de armamento.
Today, Juan Orlando Hernández, the former president of Honduras, was extradited to the United States to face federal charges. Hernández is charged with participating in a corrupt and violent drug trafficking conspiracy to facilitate the importation of tons of cocaine into the United States from 2004 to 2022. As is charged in the indictment, Hernández abused his position as president of Honduras from 2014 through 2022 to operate the country as a narco state. Hernández is alleged to have received millions of dollars from multiple drug trafficking organizations, including from the former leader of the Sinaloa cartel, known as El Chapo. In return, drug traffickers in Honduras were allowed to operate with virtual impunity. We allege that Hernández corrupted legitimate public institutions in the country, including parts of the National Police, military, and National Congress. And we allege that Hernández worked closely with other public officials to protect cocaine shipments bound for the United States. Those officials included his brother, Tony Hernández, a former Honduras congressman who was convicted in 2019 in the Southern District and sentenced to life in prison.
The charges we announced today seek to finally hold Juan Orlando Hernández accountable for years of corruption, years of violence, and years of drug trafficking. We allege that for over a decade, Hernández abused his positions in the Honduran government, including as president, to partner with and take millions of dollars of bribes from some of the world's most notorious drug traffickers. We allege that he used that money to enrich himself, fund his political campaigns, and commit voter fraud. And in exchange, Hernández and his co-conspirators helped push 500,000 kilograms of cocaine into the United States. That's 500 tons of cocaine. Hernández declared that he wanted, and I quote, to stuff the drugs right up the noses of the gringos. We allege that the defendant took millions of dollars in bribes from traffickers. We allege, for example, that in 2013, the defendant accepted a $1 million bribe from El Chapo, who was the head of the Sinaloa cartel, in exchange for a promise to protect the cartel's drug trafficking in Honduras. Hernández then directed his co-conspirators to travel to various parts of Honduras to bribe officials to manipulate votes for him to become president. 4 years later, when he was running for re-election, Hernández was at it again, taking bribes from drug traffickers and buying votes. In exchange for those millions of dollars in bribes, Hernández allegedly facilitated the importation of massive quantities of cocaine into the U.S. Honduras became one of the most violent countries in the world during the defendant's presidency. And while Hernández amassed money and political influence, the people of Honduras endured conditions of poverty and violence.
Hernández campaigned on a simple promise to the Honduran people, that he would clean up political corruption and fight drug traffickers. But in reality, the indictment alleges that Hernández did the opposite. It alleges that he used the presidency to join forces with some of the largest and most violent drug trafficking organizations in the world. It alleges that Hernández used drug money to finance his political rise. The indictment alleges that Hernández repeatedly accepted bribes from cartel leaders, including a $1 million bribe from El Chapo.
Hernández se ha declarado inocente en varias ocasiones.
Hoy quiero compartir con todo el pueblo hondureño una carta pública que Juan Orlando les ha hecho llegar con un importante mensaje. Reitero a mi nación, así como al mundo entero, soy inocente. Soy víctima de una venganza y una conspiración por parte de los grupos del crimen organizado y enemigos políticos. Esas acusaciones son falsas e injustas, llenas de mentiras construidas de manera novelesca, en base al testimonio de colaboradores, todos narcotraficantes confesos con acuerdos de negociación con la Fiscalía del Distrito Sur. Testigos quienes son capaces de decir cualquier mentira con tal de lograr su venganza contra mí y la reducción de sus penas.
De la mano de Dios y del pueblo hondureño, vamos a construir juntos la Honduras que nos merecemos.